Yes, the people. Episode 29. Chattin Pony with Paddy The Baddy. We're back. Same sponsor as always. Got a new one on here, lad.
It's nice.
It's an absolute rasper. Yeah, it's good gear. You know, the quality's are belted as well. It's even got these little things on the hands for if you're cold and you're out running. That you need that in the UK, mate. You need them. But today, we've got my man, Chef Dave, on. Introduce yourself, fella.
Dave Critchley, executive head chef and director at Luban Restaurants, and yeah, Paddy's biggest fan, I reckon. You know what I mean?
Lad, I am one of your biggest fans when it comes to the kitchen, lad. I swear to God, as you know, when I went to Luban the first time, lad, it just evolutionised the fact that Chinese food isn't good out of a chippy.
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like lad. When I come that night when you invited me and I went with the missus, I was sitting there like, oh my God. I'm never going to be able to eat food from the chippy ever again. Like, it's just next level gear.
It is next level. And the reason that you've got this Scouse lad doing Chinese food, I'll quickly give you the quick story.
We don't want the quick story.
No, we want the whole story.
We want the whole story.
Okay, the whole story.
My man went and lived in China, lad. Get on this story. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, so I've been chefing 25 years now in the industry. I've done mainly British, won awards doing British food, whatever. I got to a point in Liverpool where I'd kind of reached, I'd say, the top. I felt like I'd reached the ceiling. There was nowhere else for me to move on to. I was at the London Carriage Works, really good restaurants, fantastic hotel. And I was just looking around going, what do I do now? For 4 years, I've been there, been cooking for like movie stars, football players. Where do I go next? I want to keep learning, keep pushing. I couldn't see anything in Liverpool, and I love Liverpool, but I needed to get out just for a little bit. So I ended up in Manchester, and I was at Australasia, which is a really big, beautiful Japanese restaurant.
I've heard of Australasia, to be honest.
Still really good. It was better when I was there. I'm only joking. It's a fantastic restaurant.
Never been, to be honest. I've never been. I've heard of it and I've seen it when I've been in.
It's beautiful. It's nice. And I was there for 2 years and creating new menus for them. And suddenly I had all these like Asian ingredients that I'd working with for the first time. And that's where my kind of Asian adventure started. And then after 2 years I got a phone call, and it was these guys who were setting up this brand new project back in Liverpool again. And to be honest, I was done with driving up and down the M62 every day. I like working 14 hours and then driving another hour home. I must have fell asleep at the wheel a couple of times, which is obviously really dangerous. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm interested in coming back to Liverpool. Of course I am. It's a brand new restaurant, so that's exciting. And then he was like, it's Chinese food. And I was like, okay. And why are you phoning me then? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm honoured, like, but why are you calling me for Chinese food? I've got no idea. And they're like, no, we want a British chef. We want a local chef. We're going to take you to China. And I was like, fucking pass me that. I'm signing up. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't happen in my industry, in my game. No one says we're flying you out to China. You got to go and learn and see, and you hear it all the time, but it never happens. You know what I mean? So this time, as soon as I knew they were serious, I was like, yeah, sign me up. I want to go to China. Never been. I want to see it. It sounds amazing. And they were like, yeah, you're going to study with like a couple of like top chefs from Northern China. And I was like, right, okay, brilliant. It was only later on I realised like how top this chef was. Like when I got there, I'll come back to that now. But yeah, so I left Australasia, went back to Liverpool. It wasn't even built yet. It was still just, I'd seen
just
the plans.
An idea at the time.
I'd seen the building, but it was a mess. It used to be the old red brick market in the Baltic there, in a beautiful building there. And I'd seen the plans, and it was a state-of-the-art kitchen. And again, you're thinking, is this too good to be true? This is the first time someone's going to spend nearly $500,000 on a kitchen for me. Anyway, everything they said was correct. I flew out to China in 2019, August, and spent a few weeks out in China. Just, it was mad. I never got a moment. It was literally every minute of every day was planned for me. I was in this car, driving around this city, taking me from one restaurant to another restaurant, back to the college demos. The first day I was there, actually, I had a live TV crew follow me around for the day, which was mad on my first day in this mad city. And they were getting me to cook live in front of like 15 million people. Just passed me this massive Chinese cleaver. I was like, right, off you go, do it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to chop my fingers off on live TV. Anyway, it was a great experience. And it kind of dawned on me as I was eating in these amazing restaurants. And these are like, I've never seen restaurants like this. The money that was spent on them, insane. Yeah. And these restaurants are geared up to do like, I don't know, 2,000 people at once. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're huge. And it was just insane. And everywhere I went with Master Wu, who was my like host and my guide and also my teacher while I was there, everyone just flocked around him like he was you, mate. You know what I mean?
I'd say, he's like a celebrity.
He was a celeb, yeah. And it was like, because food is revered so much over there. The chefs are as well. And like Master
my type of place,
yeah,
you know? My type of place.
You wait till you get out there. You've got to get out to China because like it is next level. And so, yeah, 3 weeks there, ate in all these amazing restaurants. I had this notepad. I was just scribbling everything down, taking photos, videos. My head was just mashed with all these ideas. And then we've come back to Luban, written the menu, and we've opened the restaurant. And it was amazing for 3 months. And then COVID hit and we had to close. Oh. But we're back. We're back. We survived. I did everything possible to survive through that like year and a half. Set up 4 different businesses during that time just to stay alive and keep the brand alive because I believed in it. It was my project. Yeah. I'd been given it and I refused to lie down and say COVID's won. I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, we go for it. I was doing live cooking on Instagram. I was having guests. Even though we couldn't get together, they were cooking in their kitchen. I was cooking in my kitchen. I'd send them the goods and the ingredients, and we'd have these little live cook-alongs. And my social media was booming because I was doing all these things, and it was great because it kept the brand Luban alive, basically. So when we did pop out of COVID restrictions, we were busy. And as you know, during that time, I've been on TV a couple of times, which is massively helped. But that is probably the quick story. There's lots more happening since, but that's how you've got this Scouse lad from Chilwell doing food from northern China. I forgot to say, yeah, when we got back from China, we had a letter that followed us pretty soon, and Master Wu had been that impressed with my ability, but more my kind of how enthused I was with that type of food, how excited I was about it, my attitude towards it, to learning. And he made me his final apprentice, which is, if you can kind of think Karate Kid.
That's what I thought. When you said like master, I was thinking, just reminds me of like stuff to do with martial arts. You know what I mean?
It's
exactly like that, isn't it? Which is
100%.
Crazy.
It's revered exactly the same way as like actual artists over there, painters. You'll have the master and then you'll have the apprentice, which is learning his way up. The same with martial art, and they're all revered the same way, which is really cool out there. So yeah, China's somewhere you need to get on your list. Like, and he asked me to be his final apprentice, which is a massive deal. It's huge. Like, we don't know of any other British person or even Western person that's been invited to be in that circle.
It's some honour then, isn't it? Know what I mean?
It is. It's a big deal. A lot of pressure, but I like that. I like working with pressure on me. Do you know what I mean? It brings the best out of me. But so we think I'm the first Western apprentice to a Chinese master chef there's ever been. Forgive me if I'm wrong out there and someone else has that title. Sorry, but I can't find you.
You can't find you anyway.
Can't find you. Not on Google.
My man Dave's taking the credit.
Yeah, so it's my title now. It's my title now.
You are like the Karate Kid, lad, aren't you?
That's it. I'm the Karate Kid of Chinese food. But it's an honour, and I'm gonna do it justice. I'm gonna finish my training with Master Will. I'm gonna become a Chinese master chef, even though I was gonna say just a Scouser. I am a Scouser, and I'm gonna be the first Chinese master chef Scouser.
The first Scouse Chinese master chef.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's gonna be.
That's what we're gonna do, and from there, I mean, doors are opening, so it's gonna be a big year this year.
Yeah, 100%, my lad. As you know, I love your food. It's next level. Like, it's off the charts.
Thank you.
Like, what a lot of people in the UK and then a lot of people from America and Australia and that watch this podcast from all around the world. So, lad, they don't think they'll understand how big Chinese food is in Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's like after Scouse, It's our like second food.
It is 100%. Yeah. Our Sunday roast is not a Sunday roast. It's dim sum normally, isn't it? Yeah. It's Chinese, and that's to do with the Chinese community that's settled here. Largest Chinese community outside of China, effectively settled in Liverpool. The oldest community in the Western Hemisphere, the Western part of the world, was in Liverpool. So we've got this amazing heritage, this culture, this history of Chinese being in Liverpool. And we almost take it for granted. We don't realise until, I think it was on one of your threads on Twitter, and we were talking about chippies outside of Liverpool don't serve Chinese food.
Lad, it's mad.
And we're like, what? What do you mean? You can't get spring rolls and
it was on like Twitter or Insta or whatever it was, and it was like someone was like, no, our chippies aren't run by Chinese people, they're run by, and you're like, what?
Yeah, what
do you mean? What sort of chippy is that, lad? It's not a proper chippy.
All you can get's fish and chips and sausage. What?
And pies. Who wants pies, lad? We want salt and pepper chicken and loads of it and ribs.
You want all the good stuff?
Yeah, all the proper gear.
So I think we've almost taken that for granted. It's been in our culture and in our history, and as we've grown up, like the chippy and Chinese has just become part of Scousers' diet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when I went to China, it was just, like you said, it was next level. It's completely different. All the food over there is really healthy, really nutritious. They live like a really healthy lifestyle. It's all around the dinner table. Like, it's all focused around their food. And you'll know as an athlete, what you're putting in your body it is what you get out. Do you know what I mean?
It's the energy what you have.
Crap in,
exactly.
You're going to get crap out again. And what I noticed was everything had a purpose, and this is good for your gut, and this is good for this, and this is good for digestion. And I was like, wow, this is next level cooking, because they're thinking about after you've eaten, they're thinking about digestion, they're thinking about, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've just gone further, 7,000 years or more, thinking about how the food works and operates. And their food goes hand in hand with their medicine as well. So they're just light years ahead of where we are in terms of food as a nation. So it was nice to see, and the flavours out there were just insane. So I'd like to bring a bit of that back to Liverpool. I couldn't go full on Tianjin Northern Chinese because I just don't think anyone would have got it. And certainly some of our first dishes we put out, everyone was like, what's this? And we did get a lot of people going, this isn't Chinese, what's this? And it was like, no, it is Chinese.
No, this is legit Chinese
what you've
food.
been eating is not Chinese.
Yeah, we have like greasy chippy Chinese, don't we, lad? Which is, it's just not real Chinese food. Like, no. I remember the first ever time I came to Luban, and I was like, oh, this is mad. Talking to you was like, this is proper Chinese food. And like, I've had to introduce all my mates to it, get all my mates on it, and they're like, our first day was the same. They're like, wow, this is a bit mad. And I'm like, lad, this is real Chinese food. You won't go anywhere else and get more authentic Chinese food than this.
Yeah,
and that's a fact.
Thank you for that. And it's true. It is true. I'm only doing what I've seen in China, what I've been shown by the master chefs in China. And what I quickly realised was the food that we've been eating in the UK is this, like, it's westernised. It's made for us. Do you know what I mean? It's what we like. It's salty. It's sweet. It's gloopy because we like gravy. That's the simple reason. If you think about it, why would you have all this sauce over in China if you're eating with chopsticks? Because you can't pick it up, so it'd just be wasted, wouldn't it? Yeah. So everything over there, if it did have a sauce, it was very like light, and it was just like a gentle coating rather than a big bucket of sauce, which is what you get from the chippy, in a tray full of sauce with bits in it. Same for the soups as well. Were really light, thin soups, not thickened like they are over here. And it was just incredible. But you've been one of our biggest supporters, I think, since I got you in. So that was a master stroke of genius.
Well, as I say, when I come in that first time with the missus, we just got the dog at the time and everything. We had my brother-in-law minding the dog, and lad, we were just sitting there, and I was just like, this is special. Whatever. Yeah. In fact, the boys got me to try oysters, didn't they?
Yeah.
Lad, it was like drinking salt water. It's like drinking seawater. Like, David and that made me try them.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And I was like, no, for yous, just because
I'll try one.
Just because of yous, because it's yous, I'll try one. And then, lad, I had it and I nearly spewed up. I was like, what more did you just give me there? What that? Oh, lad, it was disgusting. It was proper vile. I couldn't. Oh, how do people buy them as like a delicacy?
They're one of our top selling dishes.
That's what I mean. So, that's like one of the top selling dishes.
Just so you're aware, ours are delicious, and Paddy's just doesn't like
my taste buds. My taste buds just can't go near them, lad. Like, For me, they're a proper Tory scrum. Keep
Eat
them away.
Tory and vote Labour. That's what I always say. Do you know what I mean?
What a shout.
Scouse Mark comes and says that all the time. I'm like she has lobster and everything.
See, that's something like I'm not a big fan of fish at all.
Yeah.
And even the lobster, lad, I had a little go with that. Remember when I come after me fight with Jamie? Jamie loved the lobster when you're done as like a 10-course meal. That's one of the best meals I've ever had. The funniest thing about that is, lad, we were so full, and then like the last dish come out, and like I still like ate most of mine. You know what I'm like?
You carried on eating.
I just keep
the rest
eating.
all dropped out one by one, and Paddy was still going, which was
Flat, I just keep eating and eating and eating. I've got a bottomless pit. Like, say, it's crazy how much I can eat. I say this a lot, lads. Like, I'm gonna try and keep my weight down after this fight.
Yeah.
But the way I eat, it's just gonna be a struggle. The next day after we come to Luban, me and my bird woke up and was like, "Oh, I could eat some of that Chinese food now." Looked at each other and went, "Why didn't we box some of that up?"
There was loads left over.
There was bits left over, and I was fuming the next day, thinking, "Why didn't we box some of that up? Are we for real? Are we messing?" Lad, I was proper fuming.
We know next
thinking
time.
I could have nailed some of that fried rice and that raw now.
Yeah.
Lad. I was
the breakfast of
fuming.
champions, literally.
Yeah, literally. I would have warmed that up the next day before we went to Cornwall and nailed it to the ground.
Yeah.
I was fuming.
You could have ate it on the way down there. Do you know what I mean?
I was fuming with myself. I was like, "Paddy, are you messing? Paddy, how have you done this?" Me and Laura looked at each other and we woke up and was like, "Oh, I could eat some of that Luban now." Literally, as soon as we woke up, and then we just looked at each other and went, "Why didn't we box some of that up?"
Yeah, well, we know for next time.
Yeah, we know for next time.
Jamie didn't eat much. Jamie only had a little bit. So we could have just put all Jamie's in about.
Jamie was slacking. Yeah, Webster, talking about you. Proper slacking with that scarf there, lad. Proper slacking.
He'll be back. Next fight, you'll be back.
Yeah, I can just keep eating me, lad.
Become a tradition now, hasn't it? So next fight, Paddy will win that.
Yeah, the day after me fight, I'm going to be in Luban, just sitting there absolutely scoffing on. Like, even like when the duck comes out and you have the little sprinkles of different like salts and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah, that's it. So the little attention to detail. This is like little seasoning rack that comes out with a duck. That's what you're talking about. And what I saw out there was every time like a roasted meat dish came out to me, they'd come out with this little like pot, and I was like, "What's in the pot?" And it would be brown sugar. And I was going, what is that? I'd be speaking to my translator first, and then from the translator to Master Wu.
Yeah.
It was fun and games when the translator went to the toilet. It was just like, right, I'm going to have a little bash here. And he liked that, actually. I got him to say, by the end of that trip, he was saying boss. And yeah. So Master Wu out there, there's a Chinese master chef of like 50 years, top of his game. And if you like something, he now says, "That's boss, that." You got it. It's a bit of circular knowledge. But anyway, and I said, why is the brown sugar coming out with roasted meat? I've never experienced that. Over in the UK, it's just salt, pepper. You know, that's what you have with meat. And he basically said, "Well, we love the meat, and all the fat is where you get all the flavour from. That's the same across most cultures. We'll really enjoy the fat, but he said we don't like the texture of the fat. So if there's a fatty bit in the meat, sometimes you can be eating something and go, whoa, that was a big lump of fat."
I love pork belly.
Yeah, boss.
But the amount of calories in it's no good as well. But the chunks of fat on the pork belly are a bit off-putting at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So what they do is to combat that texture in the mouth, they'll add these brown sugar granules. So if there is a bit of fatty texture, it's broken up by this crunchy, sweet. There's a bite into it. Do you know what I mean? So it combats that. So that's the reason for it primarily. But then you do get this kind of sweet flavour. So you are seasoning the meat, what you'd normally do in the UK, salt, pepper, and the sweetness as well, which was new to me. And I was like, right, okay, well, UK's not quite ready for sweet meat yet. You know what I mean? It's not be too much just to come out with this. So we do add we had the brown sugar, and then I've also added a smoked sea salt and a little bit of our Luban spice, which is effectively our in-house salt and pepper mix, because I like salt and pepper, but we make our own fresh, because I don't often like the one out the tub. Do you know what I mean? It makes me feel, I don't know, there's MSG in it normally. But anyway, I digress. So these three little flavour comes out, these three little seasonings. And we just found that when you added them all together on the pancake, next level. Like, you're getting salt, sweet, a little bit of spice in there on your duck and your hoisin and your spring onions and all that business. And it just elevated it completely. And those little touches is what I'm trying to bring to Luban so people can experience that, and we tell them this is why you have this. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we think makes Luban a bit more special. You get more of an experience. You're getting my little stories that I saw in China on a plate for you, and that's the reason. And the waitress will say, yeah, this is the brown sugar, you have that because.
Yeah.
And then if it's too sweet, you add a little bit of this salt in there as well. So it's nice you picked up on that, because it's those little attention to detail. That's what I'm really pushing.
Yeah,
and that's what takes your dish next level.
I love your own sauce. What's the sauce called again? Your own sauce?
Oh, the Red Dragon.
The Red Dragon sauce.
It needs bottling, that, doesn't it?
Power. Absolute power. That needs bottling up and putting on shelves in supermarkets.
That's what we're heading for, hopefully. Yeah. Keep your eyes out. The Red Dragon sauce is coming. And do you know what I've noticed in in supermarkets? The Chinese range is awful. It's like same 4 sauces in these little packets.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And
Like
I've
the
ate them
satay, the
all,
black
and I'm
bean.
just like, yeah, and then there's an oyster sauce, and I'm just like, these are horrible. And like, China's so vast, and the amount of different cuisines there are around China, we should be doing well better in the supermarket. So
Yeah.
I think that's my little niche. That's what I'm aiming for next. I'm going to call it
Got
that
me wanting
market.
to go to China, you know.
You got to go.
So much.
We're going to go. As soon as I'm allowed to go back again, because there's still restrictions in place, I'll be going back out there again. And then hopefully every 6 months I'll be flying back out, seeing Master Wu, back to the college, learning more, seeing more. And then we can bring all them dishes to Luban, so you can enjoy them then. But,
definitely.
But it's an experience. I've never been to New York, but this is what I imagine New York. I pressed a button and my curtains opened in my hotel room, this big, massive, round window. And I'm just looking out at all these skyscrapers with all these lights on. And it was like stunning city, Tianjin, northern China. Like I said, I've not been to New York, but I just imagine that's what it's like when you open your windows and there's just all this. And then when you get onto street level, everything's immaculate. There's like street cleaners every 100 meters making sure there's not a speck of anything.
Well, that's not like New York then.
The only bad thing is you have got the smog, like, do you know what I mean? Because of, there's that amount of pollution and cars and stuff there. But
like, even there, they wear masks anyway, don't they? Even without like COVID and stuff, they wear masks anyway.
Yeah, that's just their norm. So, but what a place, and like the culture and how friendly they are towards us. Tianjin, actually, I need to speak about this because Tianjin and Liverpool are really similar, and it's mad. You're on 2 different sides of the world, but you've got the same kind of sense of humour.
Everyone's dead friendly.
Yeah, really friendly people, and that's not everywhere in China. That's specifically when I was speaking to people, they were like, no, we're known for being really friendly because they've got a big port. So it's a big port city, just like ours down here. And the history there was all the trade used to come through there and then off into the other parts of China. So you've got a very similar history. You've got people from all over the world would be traveling through the port, all these traders, and the architecture is, as a result, very similar to all the big buildings, all the beautiful buildings that got made when Liverpool was the second city, when it was the main city in the UK, let's be honest. You've got very similar buildings to that. So when the Tianjinese come to Liverpool, they feel at home, which is dead nice, I think. Do you know what I mean? They like there's a big river running through, pretty much the same as us. That's the Mersey, cuts the Wirral and Liverpool in half. It's the same in Tianjin. You got 2 halves of the city. And there's just a lot of similarities. They like their humour, the comedy, they like the music, they like food and drink, and they're dead friendly. And I just thought, this is boss. This is like, there's another Liverpool, kind of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was nice. And so I think that's how we got on so well, and how I rubbed off well on them. So, that was nice. It was just nice. Similar attributes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, don't know what it is. Could be the sea. Could be the... I think
so
it's
close
more,
to the sea,
yeah. It's the sea, yeah. It's what it does to us, makes us all nuts. I think it's all the different cultures as well. So, there was, over time, they would have seen traders from Europe, from Liverpool. I don't know what my phone's doing there.
Making a little noise over there. What I wanted to go into though, Davis, how did you like obviously that's how you got into your Chinese cooking, but how did you originally get into cooking? Like,
good question.
Was it like a relative, a family member, or school, or what was it? Because like my missus is still on my case that I haven't cooked her a meal in our new house, and we've been moved in for like 15 months.
We're gonna fix that as soon as your diet's up.
Coming in. Dave can help me fix that.
We said this.
Definitely.
We're gonna do a salt and paddy chicken.
Yeah, sounds heavy.
And we're going to smash it out of there, but that's on the card, so don't forget that. But right, okay. Food. Growing up, it was my mum used to cook all the time. My dad would cook very occasionally. He'd work most of the time. So obviously I liked food, and the Sunday roast for me was like the family meal on a Sunday. And I'd like sneak down, and before it was ready, be nicking things, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, like there'd be the bone off the leg of lamb or whatever we were eating, and I'd be like picking bits off later on. So I was interested in food, the flavours, the textures. But then I wanted to do art, to be honest. So I did GCSEs. I was like, right, I'm going to do art. I want to be like graphics. I want to do illustration. But I started working in my local pub, the Halfway House, represent, in Chilwell when I was 15. That was eye-opening. Going into the kitchens at the age of 15 just to wash the dishes for a bit of money in my back pocket. And that's where it kind of started turning my head. I still wanted to be an illustrator at this point, and I went to college, stayed in the pub while I was in college. Then I went out to university in North Wales in Wrexham. That was also eye-opening. But that's another story for a different time. But,
when the cameras are on.
Yeah, you know, madness. But the whole time I was travelling back from Wales every weekend to work in the pub again. But by this time I'm not washing dishes. While I'm in university, I'm running the kitchen. The head chef would take the weekend off and I would come back and run the kitchen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I bet you that put you in some good stead, though, know what I mean? Coming back and running the kitchen every weekend.
I mean, I was a young lad running the kitchen with people older than me in the kitchen, but just because I knew it like the back of my hand by that point. I've been there for years. I was washing the dishes. I worked my way up. I watched how to prep things. I wanted to learn. So even though I didn't really want to do that, my mentality was always to work harder than everyone else around me, just to prove a point. I belong here. I deserve to be here. So even though I've got lads twice my age, twice my size, I deserve to be here. Do you know what I mean? So you're not giving me shit because I'm working hard. I'm working harder than you.
Yeah.
And that was just my mentality right the way through. And then when I came out of university, there was no jobs. I've got a degree in children's book illustration, but no jobs. So I was like, well, I'll just go back in the kitchen because I know what I'm doing. Went full time straight away. And never looked back then, really. From that moment on, I taught myself everything I could. I was reading books. I was watching all the other chefs around me. I got my qualifications on the job. I got a college to come out to me. So once a month, someone would come out and assess me until I got my qualifications.
Yeah.
So now I'm qualified chef. But I've kind of learned it, not the hard way, but I never went to college to do it.
Learned it on the job as you were doing it.
So yeah. And then I just kept that mentality of I'm going to work harder than everyone else around me. And every time I moved to a different job, I just work harder than everyone else and learn. So I belong there. So if the stuff I didn't know, and there was loads I didn't know, because you just get the basic training to pass your course. So I just learned and carried on learning. I was like a sponge. Any chef I work with, I'd learn something off them and put it in here. And I'm like, right, okay, I know what to do there. And just kept working hard until before I knew it, I was looking around thinking, I'm actually all right at this. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing okay here. Every time I move to a new job, obviously I'll be a bit like, right, okay, get my feet under the table. But then I'm like, no, I deserve to be here, and I'm a good cook. And what I'm doing is good. Do you know what I mean? I care about how the food comes out. I'm obsessed with making that dish perfect, which a lot of people just don't have. Like, they can be good cooks, but if they don't care, they'll throw anything out. Do you know what I mean? So having that attitude is what kind of propelled me up through the ladder. And now I've gone to work in some of the top places in the northwest of the UK. People always say, oh, you should have gone down to London. No, thanks. No, I'm all right.
I personally, like, it's a nice city and that, but I don't like London myself, lad. Yeah. Everyone's in a rush, bumping into you, everyone, loads of Tories. You know what I mean? It's just not our type of gaff, is it, lad?
No. And you know, I've heard like horror stories of chefs who've gone from, specifically Liverpool, go down south to learn in London, whatever, and they just get like
treated like shit.
Yeah, 100%. You treat it like a second-class citizen. Like, why would I want to do that to myself? Yeah. So I mean, I'm quite happy in my city, cooking for my people, and I've made a great career out of it, and I'm always really grateful for everyone who supported me along the way, and I've loved it. I've loved every minute. I ventured out as far as Manchester and then came back a couple of years later. I was like, yeah, okay, I did that, but yeah, I prefer Liverpool. I just like the buzz in Liverpool's boss. Like, the people are boss. everything's nice. It's chilled. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, really nice environment. So to be able to run a restaurant in Liverpool, where I'm from, is a big deal for me. But that's all just come from. It was I walked in the pub when I was 15 and said I need a job for some pocket money. Do you know what I mean? And then that's here we are now.
That's unbelievable, you know.
I'm a little bit older than that now, but yeah.
Hard work and dedication, though, innit? Just proves you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Well, exactly that,
Hard work and dedication, mate.
100% that. So, yeah, anyone out there who does want a job in hospitality, like, you can go for it and you can achieve whatever you want. I was flown over the other side of the world, stayed in the most amazing hotel I've ever been in, and asked to become...
Just have to say,
there's the ice cream,
good job you shut that window, lad. There's that ice cream man there.
We were talking about that before, weren't we?
Yeah.
He did.
I was saying before how much I'm craving an ice cream, lad, 2 weeks before my fight.
And there he is.
And here he is. Last night, my babe put The Simpsons on. It was episode where Homer was the fucking ice cream man. Oh, lad.
It's all mad. It's mad.
Subliminal messages everywhere. Everywhere.
It's food, though, innit? Food is life.
Food is life. I've said this on my podcast plenty of times, lad. Food for me is the most important thing in the world. Nice food.
Yeah, good. And it's good that you appreciate it as well. So it's nice that people appreciate it. It means my job is valid. What I'm doing is, people are appreciating it. But just going back to that point, if you want to achieve, well, whatever you want to achieve, hard work, dedication, like Paddy said. Look at Paddy now. Flying, mate.
That's mad the way you said I walked into the halfway house when I was 15. I walked into next gen when I was 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the magic number.
Exactly. As they say, the rest is history, lad.
But that's
just
it.
Cracked on from there.
And things are just progressing. Like the last 2 years, we had COVID, and that was obviously a terrible time, and we didn't know what was going to go on. But it forced me to seriously go for it. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to sit down. I'm not that kind of person. I couldn't have sat there on furlough doing nothing. I would have gone out of my mind. So we set up, like I said, 4 businesses. We were crazy. We were just rushed off our feet all right the way through that kind of furlough period. We weren't on furlough. We were working more than we'd ever worked before to keep the brand alive. We had Lids, which was our online supermarket we created with our local suppliers, because obviously they were like, what do we do? All the restaurants were closed. And I was like, we deliver to people's houses. We went for it, and we had 8 drivers on the road. We employed 8 people. In COVID, we employed drivers who were out of work. We had 37 local businesses all trading off our platform. And that kept us busy. And then we launched Luban Kitchen, which was all our food, but delivered to your house. We didn't want to go takeaway. We were like, there's a lot of Chinese takeaways in Liverpool.
That your food is too good for to be takeaway, lads. You know what I mean? It disrespect the Luban brand and name.
We thought, we don't want to damage the brand. We're a new brand, you know what I mean? But not enough people know us to say, I'm going to spend 3 times more on their takeaway than these guys' takeaway. Yeah. How many people are really going to do that? So what we did was create all of our banquets, all of our top dishes. You can order them and have them delivered to your house, and that's still operating now. So Luban Kitchen, get on that. All over the UK, yeah. So you get your box, you put your own banquet together, choose from all these different bits and pieces, and then it arrives for you a couple of days later, and instructions are in there and everything, and that was great as well. So that forced me to be really entrepreneurial. I'm glad I got that out. Good word, that. Entrepreneurial.
We love a good big word.
There you go, big word. And that forced me to obviously I'm a chef, I cook things, but this engaged whole new levels of my brain and right, how do we survive? How do we do this? Social media, I mean, it's probably the bane of most people's lives.
We
won't go there. I always talk to Paddy, go, fucking hell, where's your Instagram gone again, mate?
Absolute rodents,
we'll leave that there. Lizards,
proper lizards, dirty. Mark Zuckerberg getting it when I see him, I swear to God.
We're setting that up next. That's the next fight. Probably multi-millions that. But yeah, it forced me to engage in social media in more than I'd ever had done before, and realising how important it is and what the potential of it was and is. And my social media, I said, just went off the scale, and I was using that to promote all the products, Lids, Luban Kitchen.
Tell everyone about the charitable work you were doing as well, though, Dave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So off the back of when we first had to close the restaurant, we had all this food in the fridges and in the freezers. We took the decision to close before Boris, can barely say his name, before he told everyone to close.
Oh, that's a lizard.
That is a full-on lizard.
Dirty piece of shit.
what he said. We took the decision. I mean, business was dreadful. We were on our arse, you know what I mean? We were restaurants with no customers because everyone was scared to go out because of Boris, you know what I mean? He told everyone not to go out, but he left us all. Like, what are we meant to do?
While he was sitting in his garden, partying, probably sniffing beef, the little rat.
And still eating in restaurants, probably. But so we were like, there's not a lot of customers coming in, so we can either try and stick it out with a few staff in or just say, listen, this isn't safe anymore. It's not safe for our guests, not safe for our customers. COVID is real, it's rife, and people are suffering with it and dying from it. So we're going to close. So we just took the decision to close. And I had all this food in there. I've done work with food banks before. It's really important work, and it's work they shouldn't have to do, but they are doing it, and it's saving lives. So all right, we're going to get all this food out. Do you know what I mean? We're going to go, and we went to homeless shelters. We went to, food banks, and we just emptied the fridges and freezers because we knew, like, it's just going to go off in the fridges. Even the stuff in the freezer, you've only got, we say, three months for it in the freezer, and then it's gone. Do you know what I mean? You're like, it's not quality anymore. We were like, let's get it out. Let's get it to people who need it. So we just emptied everything out, got it all delivered. And then it was like the next day or two, I was getting messages from them saying, thank you so much. I managed to feed this people, managed to feed these people. And then my brain's ticking over, and I've just started Lids, the supermarket, which is effectively getting food to people who needed it. But those people have money, do you know what I mean? So money's not a problem for them. So this is people who were like, well, I'm quite happy to pay this and that and this. And I was like, well, how do we get food to people who can't afford it? Like, people were already on the breadline. And now COVID's come. It's going to be even worse. So I'm phoning up the food banks going, what's happening there? And they were just like, the lines are bigger. There's more people. There's not any more food coming in. And I was like, right, okay, there's got to be another solution to this. So we just set up with money that was coming in off Lids because it started to turn a profit. And I was like, that's great. It was never intended to, really. It was just going to be a service and it'd keep our staff busy and occupied. So we started donating the money from that and buying like fruit, veg from our local suppliers, fruit, veg, bread, meat when we had enough money, and creating these boxes and working with kind of local community partners. We were delivering these boxes out to people, and these would have been food bank users. Yeah. But on top of that, we were giving them a box, fresh fruit, veg, good stuff, healthy stuff, because it's one thing giving someone a box of like tin tuna and some tin peaches and spaghetti. I mean,
but it's hard to put all them together, isn't it?
It's going to keep you alive, but it's going to taste like crap, let's be honest. And I was like, we need to be able to teach people how to cook as well. Do you know what I mean? That's a skill I think we've lost as a nation because of fast food and because of our lifestyles and everything
stuff
else.
Like microwaves and that. I'll be honest, lad, I'm bad for it. I can't cook. The best thing I can cook is like a brekkie or cheese on toast. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Bangers though.
Yeah, you know belter. That. Goes down the street.
you know that cheese on toast is a belter. But I was like, yeah. So we were putting recipe cards in as well. I was working with a lady called Lucy Antle, and we set up Knowlesley Kitchen. Now I live in Knowlesley. And it's one of the poorest areas in the UK. In fact, it just gets no money from the government whatsoever. It's like, it's just
I'm a Knowlesley boy myself, lad. I'm
Halewood now, so yeah, neighbours. And I was like, so I'm going to do work there. There's only so much I can do. And I'm speaking to the city council. I'm not really getting anywhere with them. And I was like, listen, guys, I've got cars, I've got drivers, I've got all these suppliers, so I can do something. Let me know. Give me some cash and I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? But no money was forthcoming. So I just started asking for donations myself on social media. And I was like, guys, this is what's happening. This is what I want to do. Please help me out. And the people of Liverpool were like, yeah, I'll help you out. And then he had, so we started off with a few boxes, and then we ended up with, we were doing like 120 families a week with these boxes. They were going out across Knowlesley, and they were really well received. And then every time an event came up, like at Easter or at Christmas, I'd do like a big push on social media. And I'm like, right, guys, I want to do Christmas dinner for people who can't afford it. And I was like, right, I spoke to my suppliers. I went, I need your best deals possible. I want a turkey. I want potatoes, parsnips, carrots, stuffing balls. I want the full works, chipolatas, pigs in blankets. I want a starter. I want a soup starter. I want a Christmas pudding. I want the full works. These people are going to have the best Christmas dinner they've ever had. And I set out to do like 50 because I was like, these boxes are going to cost me 40 quid to put together.
Yeah.
Then with the box, then with the delivery, I'm talking 50 quid. I need 50 quid to make this box happen. I was like, I reckon I can get enough to get 50 people. We did 550 families of these boxes. I had my whole team, must have hated me. On Christmas week, I had my whole Luban team making these boxes and boxes and boxes. The whole restaurant was just full of boxes, and we were just like loading them up. Once you had one box done, I was phoning someone, and we had hundreds of drivers to come and collect the boxes and take them out to where they were needed. I was working with LFC Red Neighbours, Everton in the Community, Liverpool, it was City, Radio City, Cash for Kids. We had just everyone who was doing something for charity. We were like, I've got all these boxes. I've got even more boxes than I know what to do with now. Get them out to where you can get them out. So 550 families had these like better Christmas dinner than me probably. As well as our boxes that we were doing. And then it got to, I think, well, yeah, I missed out October half term there. That was the first week we found out that the government weren't going to give kids their free school meal vouchers because it was just a holiday. And they weren't, well, they were basically saying, why should we give you, you're not in school, why should we give you that? And I thought, I'm not having this. So I went out again, cap in hand, I was like, guys, we can't let this happen to our kids in Liverpool. They need feeding, and they need feeding properly. And just at the time, Marcus Rashford was really prominent doing what he was doing. So we noticed this massive surge in like donations for us to make packed lunches. And again, I was using like local guys, cafes and caterers who had no business because of COVID. I was like, I need 100, I need 200. In the end, we raised enough money for 5,000 packed lunches. So Luban was just packed lunches coming in. We were boxing them all up, and packed lunches were going out all across the city. 5,000 we managed to feed. So literally fed the 5,000 through half term week. And it was just bossed out. Like the city just said, we're not having this. We're paying. And it's just people with hardly any money themselves. And they're like, yeah, donation. And it was amazing to see. Some big companies came in, building companies, went, there's $5,000. You know what I mean? We want packed lunches.
Shows what a man you are though, lad, and like how good of a business Luban is, that even though COVID was hitting hard and you couldn't earn any money, you're still thinking about your city, thinking about the kids, thinking about families that aren't eating. Know what I mean? And that's what's boss about Scousers, lad. We look after each other.
Yeah, 100%. That's my core values. Like, and so once I realised, I suddenly had a platform where people were actually listening to me. First time in my life. I was like, right, we can do good with this. Do you know what I mean? We can go and help other people. And I just think more people should do that. There's people in the city with massive platforms, and what they say gets done like that.
Yeah.
So make it happen. Do you know what I mean? Go and do good then. Do you know what I mean? It was annoying me that other people weren't doing it, and I just
got up off your ass.
Got off there and did it myself, because if you want to make change, you've got to start with yourself. That's what I like. That's always been quite prominent, that if you want to make change, you do it yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Start with yourself and go and do it. So we did. I mean, by the time everyone was going back to work again, me and my team were knackered. We were just like, oh my gosh, we're going back to work. We're exhausted. But I, for one, just felt amazing afterwards. So I was like, look what we've done, look what we've achieved. This new team that had just come together. We were only 3 months old. COVID shut us down, but look what we did in that time. Do you know what I mean? I said, when
I went from a team to a family in them few months.
I would never have had the time to have done that had it weren't been for COVID. And it's been such a
eye-opener,
momentous time in my life. It was crazy, and it was really tough. And even like my poor wife had such a terrible time, because I was so busy through that time. She was still trying to work. She still had my little boy, trying to homeschool him. So she had a torrid time, and I'm still paying for that now. So sorry, Karen, I'm sorry. It's the life of a chef, though, do you know what I mean? That's but it was such a massive time in my life that I suddenly had time, a little bit of time, and I had a platform to go and do something good. And I wouldn't have never had time to do that had it not been for COVID. So there was good things happening as well. So I always like to see the positives in things. And COVID was terrible, horrible, horrible time. But some good things did happen from it. And hopefully we've learned a lot from it. So hopefully more people will keep doing good things now as well. created a business called Well Fed Box. This is on the back of what we'd done there. I wanted to continue it. So imagine HelloFresh, but for people who can't afford a HelloFresh box, you know what I mean? I'm using HelloFresh. Other boxes are available. It was just the one that came to my head then. But they've been really successful. So we now have a business called Well Fed. And I need donations for it to happen. So we'll get donation from Knowsley Council. Actually gave us some money recently, and
we'll put the link to all this in the description, lads. Send it all over. We'll get all the link in the description. We'll try and raise as much money as we can.
All you rich people watching,
all you Tories that we ripped the back out of, get some dough in your rats.
You'll become better people for it. But, yeah, it's a project where effectively it's exactly the same as a HelloFresh. It comes to your house, but for me, what other good things came from COVID was we as families were sat around the table again for the first time in God knows how long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's really missing, I think, from our lives. So I wanted to bring that back. I've created boxes where you can cook a meal at home, all of you together, a family. Do you know what I mean? It's a family meal box. It's got local fresh ingredients, really good stuff, really nutritious stuff. And in the box is a bit of education as well. It's teaching you about the food in the box, because I think that's the difference we make there. Food education is how we make a difference. I'd love to see the end of food bank use I'd love to see it tomorrow, but it's not going to happen. But you know what I mean? Within 20 years with projects like this, it could happen, because we're teaching people how to cook again. We're teaching people about nutrition. Hopefully we can combat problems with health problems in kids, because Liverpool's bad for it. We've got bad problems with our children. They're overweight. They've got diabetes. They don't have good diets because we don't know how to deliver it to them. So hopefully projects like this will kind of combat that, get children interested in cooking again, in nutrition, eating the right things. And we can eventually say goodbye to food banks forever. That's the dream. I know that's a crazy dream, but it needs to happen, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Does that need to happen? But like, we can only dream at the minute.
We can only dream, but we can start. So we've started little, and hopefully that will grow and grow and grow. If there's anyone out there that wants to donate a large amount of money, or even just time and expertise and knowledge, I'm trying to contact like HelloFresh and Gusto and say, listen, this is the project. Will you support it? Do you know what I mean? You're making millions off yours. Just throw a few pennies here and I can do mine as well.
Help out the little man as well.
Help out the little man, and you're doing something for the communities there as well. So
you'd get looked at in a lot better light, but a lot of people just think about profits, don't they? They don't even think
that's
about
the world.
They don't think about the little man.
That's the world.
That really is the world that we live in.
Yeah, but what I'm looking forward to is you coming back to Luban after the fight.
Oh, I can't wait, lad. It's funny because this is going to go out after the fight and I might be fat again by then already.
Paddy the Fatty.
Yeah, Paddy the Fatty will be back and everyone will be like, he doesn't look like that now on his social media.
I watched you at the chef's table go from Paddy the Baddy to Paddy the Fatty in the space of 3 hours.
Yeah. Literally, with proper big fat ankles. Because I'd kicked that kid in the head a few times. Like, my ankles were huge.
Yeah.
But no, what I did pick up what you said before. You got a degree in child illustration.
Yeah, children's book illustration. So yeah, I that was what I always wanted to do, was draw pictures for kids' books. I don't know why that came suddenly to me, but that was my drive. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Well, that's one of that's gonna definitely a big reason to why you care about kids so much and eating well, and then another reason why your food looks so good.
Yeah, that's it. I'm still an artist.
You're still an artist, but you're just on a plate now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I still get to use that. I was obviously trained in like colours and how things should appear next to each other and shape, so that does play a part. I still get to be creative and I still get to put like masterpieces together in my own way now. So yeah,
when them ribs come out, lad, and the lid comes off and the smoke just goes everywhere, and I'm just like,
you got to have a bit of theatre. I want people to enjoy Luban as an experience. It's not just your dinner.
Yeah, it's not just going for something to eat. It's an experience too.
I want you to have, there's a bit of theatre to it. There's a bit of enjoyment. There's a bit of like, oh, what's going on? What's happening here? There's a bit of interactive. You've got to put your own spice on this. I want all the senses to be getting played around with, and everyone just to be a social part.
Great that you still think that, because the first ever time I met you, Dave, you said that to me. Know what I mean? And like, you haven't let anything else get in the way. You're still thinking exactly the same.
That's the plan. That's it. And we just need to, onwards and upwards always. Like, I'm more fired up now than I've ever been about food and cooking and what I do and hospitality. So, and I think a lot of people over the years, they lose that. and you watch them just disappear and they just vanish.
Yeah.
A lot of my peers back then, I don't know where they are anymore. I don't even know if they're cooking anymore. But I was just like, no, we're going. And hopefully you can see that. Now, I've just written a cookbook. Bloody hell, yeah. Almost forgot about that then. Almost forgot the plug for me cookbook.
Let them know, lad. Let them know.
So, Cherry Blossom by Chef Dave is my first cookbook. And it is out. I mean, it's out for pre-order now on Away by Media, the website, or it's also all over my social media, in the bios everywhere. You can click on that and get your copy pre-ordered now. It will be out in April. It's only a few weeks away now. I'm
well,
excited.
As I say, this is going to come out the week after me fight, so this is going to come out like March 22nd, something like that.
You'll be 1 week away from my book.
A week away from the launch.
Arriving. We're going to have a big launch party. There'll be several little kind of launch dinners where
some
you can
food
come
in there,
along. Yeah, you can come along.
I'm coming. Defo. There's food there. I'm coming.
You can have your dinner and you get a book at the same time. You know what I mean, boss? And then if you actually want to speak to me, you can. I don't know why people do, but you know, I'm on podcast, so I must be relatively interesting.
You've
invited me, so I do have some cool stories, and we'll do some Q&A, and we'll and everyone will have a great time because. I said, at Luban, you should always feel welcome. I want everyone to feel welcome when they walk in through that door. It's like, I want it to be your kind of, it's your home from home. Go to Luban, sit down, chill out. Music's on, the tunes are on. But yeah, so the book's out, Cherry Blossom by Chef Dave. Get pre-ordering. And if that goes down well, there might be another one, and I might have time to illustrate it myself next time.
Yeah, there will be another one, 100%. But lad, you're a celebrity now as well, lad. You've been hitting up the silver screen, lad.
I have,
been on the telly a few times now, lad.
I have, yeah. That's all mad, and it's all just come from. I just believe this last 2 years of my life's just been monumental, just rocketed. It's a nice byproduct of what I was doing and being out there on social media and raising my profile to try and keep the business alive, and all the work we were doing. We were helping out where we could, and we won awards for that. And that's not what it was about for us, but it was really nice to be recognised. We won Business Hero of the Year. That was for creating lids, and then the charity work around that. The lids won a national award as well, actually. Sponsored by PlusNet, and they were like, "This is fantastic! What a great business!" And I was just like, it was just to keep me busy. No, but it served a purpose. It helped the community. And then Great British Menu came in. Now this is a show that I used to watch as a young chef. When you just watch it, you watch MasterChef and you watch Great British Menu, and I'd always said to myself, "I'd love to be on that." And I kind of forgotten about that over the years. And then when they come calling, you're like, "Oh my God." Yeah, and it is actually the most terrifying experience of your life if you ever go on it. But I actually really enjoyed it, and I'd kind of said to myself, both times when filming came up was not a good time. It was just like, I am so busy at the moment. And so both times I didn't have any practice time. But I just said, listen, let's go and do it. It's too big not to do it. It's a dream of mine anyway, so I want to tick it off the list. But it's massive for the business.
Yeah.
Once you're on TV, people see you. People see where your restaurants are. People come to restaurants. So it's a no-brainer. You got to go and do it. So both times I've gone there knackered. No practice time. I've just thought, I'm just got to go. Just go and wing it. Just go and wing it well. Do you know what I mean? Just try not to look like an idiot. Be yourself, and go have fun. And that's what I told myself. Just go have fun. Go and enjoy the experience. And I did. I love it. I love being on camera. If anyone's watched me, they always say, "Oh, you're just dead different, dead chilled out." And I'm just like, I'm just a Scouser lad. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking after the other guys. I'm competing with them, but I'm like, I'll help you out, mate. Because like, it's just TV. Like,
that's what people say to me. Lad, you're so comfortable in front of a camera, and I'm just like,
but it's just us, isn't it?
Just us, lads. We're always friendly and comfortable. It's just the way we are, lad. It's bred into us, lad. It's literally just the way we are. I can't even explain it any other way.
It's a nice trait for people from Liverpool, and we get a bad rep, don't we? We get bad stick all the time. Me and you, we're always speaking to each other. So I'm watching these arguments going on, and I'm going, "Oh, mate,
We've got a bad rep, lad, for no reason. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're some of the nicest people that you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Everyone I've ever met who comes to Liverpool always says, friendliest city I've ever been to. Friendliest city I've ever been to.
I mean, it wins awards for being the friendliest and safest city you can ever come to. It's there for all to see, but some people, they're stuck in their ways and they don't know any different, and they're being fed these lies and whatever else. But forget all that. We go and be ourselves. And what I found is people from Liverpool are friendly and lively and positive people. Do you know what I mean? And so that's how I am on the TV, and it has been massive. It's opened loads of doors. I'm getting sponsorship deals now, and I'm like, but yeah, I was just this lad from Chilwell who liked cooking, and literally, there's literally, we're in the Baltic, aren't we now? There's that the Trent on the wall. Have you seen him?
The mural.
And the caption's amazing, and it's just, I'm just an ordinary lad from Liverpool who's living his dreams. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost that's me. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm just me. I'm just Dave. That's why I just call myself Chef Dave. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a chef,
just said that, and
I'm a Dave, and that's it. That's all I am. I'm just Chef Dave.
Because when people say it to me online and stuff, I'm like, lad, I'm gonna respond to people and be like this because that's me. I'm not putting on no act for anyone. This is just me. What you see is what you get.
100%.
I think 9 out of 10 Scousers are like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
do.
You have the
wear
odd
your heart
helmet,
on your sleeve, don't we? I mean, we are who we are. We're just genuine people. And I've always said that. I'm always humble and I'm always nice. But as a result, I've got like people coming and going, "You were fantastic on Great British Menu. You should have won." And I was like, "Well, I don't know about that. Like, there's better cooks than me out there, 100%." But
you're too modest, Dave. You're too modest. You're the fucking best, lad. You're the best.
I'm the only apprentice of a Chinese master.
Exactly. There we go. No one can take that away from
Chef Dave. But yeah, and I've like pots and pans deals. I know it sounds crazy, but big creators of pots and pans, and they're like, "We want to send you all this stuff, and we want you to be our sponsor, and we want to be this." And I mean, I've got a car outside that was just gifted to me. Do you know what I mean? I've got a deal with Williams Mini. Thank you guys. I've been driving an electric Mini, which is insane, by the way. And there's more coming. There's like knife deals and sponsorship deals, and I was just like, "What the hell?" Do you know what I mean? This has all just happened like the last 2 years. I'd say it's just happened. It hasn't just happened. I've worked
years and years of work into this.
I've worked for a long time, and things are just kind of manifesting now and happening now. And so we're watch the journey, because it's only going to go onwards and upwards. And me and you talk about this all the time and say this year is going to be huge. Like for us, for Liverpool, for our businesses, it's just going to be massive. Just got this feeling inside me that something huge is happening.
I thought what you've just said is a fact. Everyone always says it to me. "Oh, what's it like that all this is just happening now?" And I'm like, lad, I've put years of hard work into this. Just like you've been just like you've been cooking for years. We've had this in our minds. We've imagined this. We've saw this in visions and dreams, and now it's happening. It's just like, we saw this coming.
Yeah, this is the plan. This is the plan. It's not. Yeah,
it was always the master plan.
It's not a surprise. It's just nice. It's now occurring and happening, and it'll keep happening because I'm going to keep working my ass off. And it's gonna be a big year, big plans, big things coming. So some top secret stuff coming as well. And then there'll be loads of stuff you'll see on social media. I'm doing loads of content at the moment, so I'm not really doing much cooking anymore, to be honest. That's actually strange. That's probably a good point. Now that's become other aspects have taken over the cooking side of things. So when you think about chef cooking, but no, mine's far more strategies now and building businesses and how to promote my business and bringing in new events and things and creating events that keep the business busy. And now a lot of work on social media and content to get a captive audience that want to see and are interested and will buy our products and will come to the restaurant. So that's become like a relatively new thing for me, is moving down that line and spend a little bit less time in the kitchens now. I've got a great team at Luban now who can probably run the place better than me when I'm not there. But that's a sign of a good team, good management, good team. They know what to do, and but it means we can now move on, and there's plans for a second restaurant and a third restaurant, and all the products that we've been talking about, the Red Dragon, the spices, the sauce mixes, we want all them in supermarkets. And that can all happen because, like I said, it's going to be a big year, and that's where we're focused now. But it is interesting that 10 years ago, I would say to myself, right, well, how many hours am I spending on social media a day? 7 hours I'm on my phone. It tells me, and I'm like...
that's not that, lad. Man, like... I also have my phone open for me Whoop band stuff, like more me training stuff.
Yeah.
Like some weeks my screen time's like 12 hours. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And you're just like, whoa, need to turn that in. So.
Yeah, get some sleep at some point. But yeah, when you're in the kitchen, I'm in the kitchen 12 hours a day. So yeah, I don't know where the 7 hours comes from. So yeah, maybe I just don't sleep anymore. But it's certainly a new aspect. It's a new part of my role now. That's the journey we'll be going on down that ways as well. So we'll be getting you in to do some cooking with us.
Oh, definitely. I can't wait.
The salt and paddy chicken's happening, mate.
Yeah, that's happening. That's coming, lad. I can't wait. The missus can't moan then because I'll have cooked or something.
See,
you know what I mean?
See, I'm always thinking of others. So yeah, this is for you, mate. This is going to get you out the doghouse.
Well, lad, you've got all the different things. You've got the pots and pans, the books, everything, the businesses. But lad, all you need to do is get that Red Dragon sauce in the supermarkets.
That's it, isn't it?
And we've made it. That's it. Millionaires.
That's it. What happening?
One day we'll be millionaires.
Yeah. This year.
It's happening. 100%.
If I can get the Red Dragon in, yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah, that's happening, lad. 100%. That Red Dragon is power. I just sit there dipping prawn crackers in it, lad. Dipping all, lad, anything. It goes with anything.
It is so
it's
good.
Unbelievable. I love that sauce. Me, you know, it needs out there. It really does. But just before we finish up, tell everyone where to find you, Dave. Your Twitter, your Instagram, everything, and obviously tell everyone where to find Ruben.
Yeah, okay. So Instagram, I'm probably the most active on. Twitter, I just tend to moan on there and berate Boris a lot of the time. Yeah, try not to get into too many arguments. No, so Instagram is Chef Dave J. That's doing good on there, so please give us a follow. And yeah, DMs are always open. I love to chat with followers and stuff like that. Twitter is Dave J Critchley, and so is Facebook if you're on there. And then Luban Liverpool is Twitter and Instagram. And then there is a YouTube channel and a TikTok coming this year as well. I want to be doing loads of cooking at home stuff so I can teach the likes of Paddy how to cook at home and keep his missus happy. I want to be showcasing your really simple Chinese food that you can do at home. So really healthy versions of your takeaway scran, which is going to be boss. So yeah, so keep an eye out for all that. And then the restaurant is in the Cairns Brewery Village, which is just outside of town. We're in the Baltic now. Head down to the Baltic, head for the Baltic Market, and opposite the Baltic Market, this lovely sandstone building through the courtyard. We're in there in this fantastic restaurant. I mean, you've seen it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, everyone's going to see it again on my social media. And just before this podcast is going to come out, you will see it on my social media, because the day after I win my fight, I am going to be in there and enjoying a lovely, lovely scoff.
Good. I'm going to be really hungover that day, by the way. So I'm going to London as well to see Paddy, and I'm absolutely delighted.
I'm already like salivating just thinking of the fact that I'm coming to Luban after I smash this Mexican's head in. You know what I mean? It's gonna
I said last time, you got to win, otherwise you don't get your scran. I'm going to say it again. Yeah. You got to win.
You all know I'm going to win even more so now. He's getting finished even quicker now when the food's on the line.
First round, otherwise no scran for Paddy. That's it. Watch him go. He'll be an animal in the cage
He's
again.
Getting finished in a minute, lads.
Yeah.
End of. Coming for that Luban the next day. Coming for it.
Yeah, belter.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Hope you've had a belter time.
Yeah, they always have a belter time with you, lad. Everyone loves a bit of chat and pony. Thank you for coming on, David. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's nice. Yeah,
nice one for watching the film. See you next week.
See you later.